Hello. What's up, guys? Jeremiah's eating, which is like,
Is there a problem?
will not eat on camera.
I have to survive.
He's not dead. Oh, that was the last bite. You guys got Are you being a little YouTuber? So that was the last bite, I guess. We're finishing dinner.
What internet are you connected to?
What
Get down, Benny.
Is it going slow?
Well, it says it was unstable.
Roots and Refuge.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Say everything going fine?
Oh, they said, hey, Ben. Oh, goodness. That is some ferocious waving. Yeah, lots of people saying that they're new or usually not on live.
Okay, Benny,
yes,
go eat your food.
Susan. I do want to talk about it,
Go eat your food.
but I'm going to wait till everybody, till more people get on. But it is awesome. But hi, everybody. Hey, Two Family Homestead. Hey, Monique. Pink Red Apple. Hi, Amy. Allen Farms. Andrew Littlefield. Barkin Holler Homestead. How are y'all doing? Even the Sparrow. I love y'all's homestead name, Even the Sparrow. That's really pretty. So into some cooler temperatures here. It's still been pretty hot. We've been having a lot of rain, but I don't know. I can kind of almost feel the fall, just barely, not quite, but like next week we have lows in the 60s and highs in the 80s, which is a pretty big deal. Angie Cunningham, my fall plans are coming along. A bunch of them really fast. I was actually shocked. I went down and I hadn't turned the lights on yet because I thought I've got at least a few days before these come up. And I had several little pale sprouts that needed light. So I turned the light on yesterday. They came up in like 3 days or something like that. So it's just crazy. Not on the Wi-Fi because our Wi-Fi is country Wi-Fi. We can't do all the things. Hi, Hardknack Farms. Welcome. Heirloom Permaculture. They're awesome. Hey, Little Creek Homestead. How are you? Hey, Stivers. Oh, Milo, I'm so sorry to hear your household is feeling bad. We're so ready for cooler weather, Regina. Actually, we're getting the gardens transitioned over to fall, and we were out there yesterday, and there was a storm that was coming, so it was like 75 degrees, and it definitely still felt like summer. It's still very humid, but you could just feel it wasn't so oppressively hot. And I don't know, I had a little bit of an emotional moment when the garden was, like seeing how naked it is now, but it was nice. Yeah, the country internet is a real thing. Hey, from the desert, bacon and eggs. Where in the desert are you? Dennis Betzel. Hello. Baltimore. That's awesome. Nice in North Carolina. We're going to be over on the east side of the country here in a couple months for Homesteaders of America, which is in Virginia. And last year we got to drive through North Carolina and stuff, but this year we're actually going to fly there, make our trip a little shorter. Icy Riley, I totally support your decision to blow off the laundry and watch us instead. In fact, I'm blowing off laundry right now too. So, unite. Our internet is so bad that it actually takes probably 9 hours to upload a video that takes like 8 minutes in town. It's so bad. And so sometimes what I literally do is edit videos. Normally we upload them overnight. But during the day, if I need to get a video up that day, I actually take my laptop into town with me. Like if I have to go to the grocery store or whatever, and I will set it up in the passenger seat or in the back of the van and hook it to my hotspot on my phone. and upload a video on my hotspot in town, which takes like 10 minutes versus at home. I can literally drive to town and upload a video and drive home faster than I can just upload a video at home.
House on Avery Road.
Oh, hey, what's up? Where is Mark?
Down, south, not too far. Right there.
Oh, cool. Hey, House on Avery Road. So, yeah, we've tried to clear it. Hopefully it'll work. It's about as good as it's going to get. Sometimes when it's been raining a lot, our internet is just having a hard time. Is it raining again? It keeps coming in and out.
It keeps coming in and out. It is not currently raining right now, but it definitely looks like it's going to start.
Is my dog outside? He is.
Yeah, he had to go outside.
Well, okay, great. Thank you, Allen Farms. I appreciate that.
What?
Said whatever we did work. If you have any questions tonight, please put them in all caps. Our moderators have the blue wrench by their name. We are so appreciative of them. They help make this possible because, as you can see, this chat can get to moving. This is not even nearly as fast as it gets sometimes. But yeah, we'll always encourage you guys to go follow our moderators. These are our friends, and we appreciate them. No goat kids yet, Mama tried. I don't think we're super, super close. I've got a few of them that are looking big, but their udders haven't like ballooned out or anything yet. They're sort of starting to develop. He left here May 15th. So if we're going to have goat kids, they'll be gone, or they'll be here by October 15th. Should be roundabout. Hey, 180 from Average. How are you guys doing? What is the best way to get rid of a ton of squash bugs? I wish I had an answer to that question. I ended up losing all my squash this year to squash bugs because I did not.
Shot that.
I've seen people using vacuums, like handheld vacs. I've seen people using like lint rollers to kind of get a bunch of them off. I'm going to get one of those little handheld vacuums next year to try to use that. But honestly, like, the best way to do them is on the front end, like be very, very proactive and pick off all the eggs that you can. Because once one of those little clusters of eggs hatches, that's just, they take off.
The name of the huge sunflowers we grow is Titan sunflowers.
Yeah, those were Titan sunflowers. Yeah, I have been told you can slow the chat down, but I don't know how. Like, the option doesn't say slow. It just says pop out chat, toggle timestamps. See, I just clicked something. Now I can't even see you guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I did. I put that over here. Can you slow it down from here?
Stop.
This is why we just leave things alone. Restore chat. You just set it back to how it was.
Yeah, I know.
What do we do about health insurance? We get asked that question a lot. Jeremiah's actually a medically retired Marine. He was active duty whenever he found a lot of tumors in his leg, went through multiple years of a series of surgeries and issues, and was honorably discharged with medical retirement. And so we have benefits through that. That's how we have health insurance. So very unusual situation. I know obviously that's not going to be the case for most people, but we feel very blessed by it. And basically we viewed it as an opportunity to live a really unusual life. And so for a while, our choices with that looked really weird. Now they look really successful. But for a while, it was kind of like, aren't you guys going to, like, you know, do something different? And we were like, no, this is what we're going to do. But we just feel like we took that seed that God gave us and grew something from it. So how far are you from the local VA?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. And we have a base here close.
Our primary care managers are on the
base.
On base.
So, do you have a solution to these beetles? You know,
Samurais.
I don't really. I mean, I use neem and diatomaceous earth pretty sparingly in my garden. If I use anything, it's those, and then BT for worms. But I don't do a whole lot of that. I do a lot of hand picking and letting things go whenever they get really bad. So,
Con, lay down.
What was your favorite pepper this year? I haven't eaten just a whole lot of them. I love the Marconi ones. Those are some of my absolute favorites. They're so sweet. How can you tell when tomatillos are ready to be harvested, Jen Shaw? They burst out of their husks. They like get so big that their husks burst and they get kind of soft. Kind of how you can feel a tomato is ready. Lightsaber for hornworms. If
the lightsaber was a black light, then that would work.
Yeah, that would be funny to get a black light shaped like a lightsaber and go out and be like, wouldn't that be funny? Sugar Rush Peach. Yeah, that's the one that I ate on camera. It was a really good pepper. It was just pretty hot. How are the hives doing?
They're doing good.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of bees doing orientation dances, which means that they're making more bees, which means that the queens are still active. So everything seems to be moving along.
Yep. He's been opening them every week or two. Right now they were bearding a ton because it was so hot, but they seem to be enjoying
up their entrances. I opened the space up so that it has better ventilation.
Thanks, Lori. She complimented my shirt. I have these overalls. So I bought these really, 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 really cute overalls. I got them used on like maybe it was eBay that I got this from. I can't remember. One of those apps or something. I got them used. But they're by Madewell, and they're a little bit too small, but I bought them because I'm like, we're losing weight right now. And when I saw this shirt, I was like, this would be so cute under those overalls. So I got it. But then I'm wearing it today because it's new. I am so proud of the Stivers for hitting 10,000 subscribers. I'm so excited for them. I'm just was so tickled to see that. So yes, absolutely. Super proud for them. Oh, okay. I have to go to advanced stream setting before you start the stream to go to slow mode. I see.
Too late.
Okay. Too late.
And we'll probably forget next week.
Oh, thank you, Jody. So y'all want to see what I was doing today? What I was working on? Yes, I actually want to talk about Art and Bree's situation, but I was kind of waiting for everybody to get on. So I want to show you what I did today first. Okay, so I actually have been wanting to do this, and I didn't know how, but I have a bunch of leather because I make journals sometimes, and I haven't made any to sell just because I'm not that good at it, and it's just kind of a hobby, and I don't know, like, Jeremiah and I were talking about this a little bit today, but those of you who are really creative people probably understand this. Like, sometimes I just need to make something, and not as a business venture or not as something that needs to be perfect or whatever. Just check out and go and make something. And so I get stupid inspired in the craft store. I spend too much money there. I get like, I'll be like, I could do this and I could do that. And I can't. I don't have that much time. But I have the stuff to do some very basic leather crafting. It's something that I really enjoy doing. At one point, my friend Lauren and I were talking about doing it as a business, but we just never had time. But so I do like journals like this. So like this is literally just a piece of leather that's got a thing around it. And this just has one of my journals in it. So this is super basic. I just did that today. But I had an idea that I was trying to do, and I'm really excited about this. So this is a Bible this is actually a Bible that I don't use, and I never really did because I'm not crazy about the translation. And it's just one that I had. And so I was practicing on this one. But I'm actually trying to recover this Bible. I want to see if I can get it right. And if I can, I'm going to recover the one that I actually like, which is this. But I'm recovering it. And I'm going to add all of these ribbons and stuff and add like an elastic band because I braid them around the middle. Isn't that neat? Won't that be really cool? I'm really excited about this. This is what I've been doing this afternoon. What is going on with Art and Bree? Okay, let's talk about that.
Sure.
Moderators, if you wouldn't mind getting a link to Art and Bree's GoFundMe. I think most people have probably seen it at this point on Facebook. A lot of you have, but I have shared it on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, if somebody wants to grab it off of there if you don't know where to get it. But okay, so Art and Bree, who are really precious friends to us, like literally I was sitting at my piano the other day just in worship and like praying, and I literally like say something to God. My phone rings. I look down. It's Bree. And I'm like, you know, like we talk some, but not a whole lot. So she's calling me, like usually we'll text. So she's calling me. It's one of those things like, okay, I need to pick this up right now. And I just knew I need to pick this up. And she's literally like, you have been so heavy on my heart. And, you know, like, I really just wanted to encourage you and tell you, you know, like that I'm praying for you, and just like literally responding in answer to what I was just praying to God. It was just crazy cool. And I just adore them. They're so precious. And they came, basically, just to sum it up, they've been sharing this on their media, but they found mold, like toxic mold in their basement of their house. For those of you that don't know, Art works full-time as a nurse, and they do their homestead life. They're raising their kids on this farm. They are so hardworking. They have really been an example. I watched Art and Bree before I had a YouTube channel. Like, they hugely were an inspiration in me doing this. And it's an honor to be able to call them my friends now. But they came up on this situation where basically they were going to have to do a massive renovation to their house that they can't afford. And their house is like making them sick. Like, they can't live there with it staying how it is. And so I'm let them do that. Swedish Homestead started a GoFundMe. Basically, the low end estimation of what this was going to cost to fix was $30,000, but that's not including putting everything back. They still need floors on top of that. They still need like more materials. They're having to do like they're having to tear out so much of their house. And then that's not even considering the time where they're going to have to go stay, like all of the different, there are so many cost factors into this kind of issue.
And it wasn't covered at all by insurance.
And it wasn't covered at all by insurance. And so Swedish Homestead started them a GoFundMe. It's hit the original goal of $30,000 within the first 2 days, which is mind blowing. I'm talking like, this is a but God situation. Like, this was hopeless but God. And I wanted to encourage you guys to really pray on this. And if you feel led to give to this, give to it. Even though you see that 30,000 is art, let this be an extravagant testimony. Like, let it be the kind of thing, like, this is the kind of thing that they're going to be talking, like their kids will hear about this. Like, this is that kind of miracle testimony, to have a community respond in such a huge way and have such a huge need. I mean, they've really had to come to a place of being like, we're going to trust God on this. We're not going to be overwhelmed by fear, but we cannot do this. And so I think they are such good ground to sow into. I would love to see this goal just get even just blown out of the water. You know what I would really love to see? I would love to see not only the need get met, but God use this for the wants to get met. Like, I would love to see Bree be able to buy, decorate her house on top of it. Like, seriously, I would love this to be not only meeting the basic needs, but above and beyond. And so for those of you who haven't seen that, yes, mind-blowing support. It's been mind-blowing support, but I don't know. I saw that it was met, and my prayer was like, honestly, like, I'm praying that it gets at least doubled. Like, I would really love to see that for them. And there are enough people involved. They have enough viewers. We have enough viewers. The people who are supporting them have enough viewers. Enough people care about these people that truly, that's not a small goal. And one of the things that I have really had to confront in myself, just growing up, being pretty poor, is the mindset that if somebody gets something, it's because somebody else is lacking, and that's not true. Like, there is truly, like, God's not having to balance his bank ledger. And so, like, I really just encourage you guys to pray and be led and know that you're sowing into good ground and there's multiplication of seed. And I'm really believing that this thing is going to get just absolutely crazy. Yes.
And you don't have to give, honestly, you don't have to give hundreds of dollars.
Oh,
like right now, if half of their subscribers or half of our subscribers gave $1,
yeah,
like, we would double.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge. Like, it's not undoable.
Yeah. I think Big Bear just posted the GoFundMe link. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for agreeing with me on that. The Bourbon Farmer, I'm not really sure. You might be able to message them and get their PayPal.
Xavier just said that they're taking through PayPal also.
Awesome. So,
they have a PayPal. I'm sure you can find it on any of their videos.
Yeah. Kay said new mattresses, new furniture, most everything that has to be fabric will need to be replaced. I mean, this is a big thing. Like they were saying $30,000 was the estimate of just like the mold remediation. That wasn't replacing anything. I mean, a lot of times when people deal with this level of like mold, I mean, it's an intense like thing. They've got to fix the issue that was causing the moisture in the first place, and they have to tear everything out, and then they have to replace it. But a lot of times people find that their blankets and their rugs and all of those things, like you can't get them clean enough. Yes, Jaden, it is. It's just amazing what one person can do. So all soft fabric things. Xavier said I would estimate in the end it will be around 100,000, and I just believe that they're going to have above and beyond. Because I mean, it's incredible to me what can happen when just people decide to band together. So I just think it's really amazing. And did somebody post their PayPal? Just go on there. If you'll go on their most recent video, they've been talking about it. But it's just incredible what's happening, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity to get to be a part of it and to bless this family. And truly, like I really mean it. Like we remember watching their videos before we ever started our YouTube channel and just being so inspired. And we were here doing our homestead life, but just being inspired by the way that they shared their life. And they are just very precious people. And I appreciate you guys.
And they had us out to their house.
Yeah, we actually spent the night at their house last year after HOA. We stopped on the way back and they hosted us, and it was just a wonderful thing to get to spend time with them, stayed up late talking, and
wish we had more time.
Yep. So Goss Mania, absolutely. I have absolutely found in my life that you do reap what you sow. And in that, I think that right now they are getting to reap a harvest from all of the good that they've sowed in other people. And I'm just believing that I know their minds are blown right now. They shared that they just couldn't believe the outpouring that's happened in the last 2 days. But I'm literally like, I love to see stuff like this. I love to see whenever God responds in just such a massive way that people go, I mean, God is so extra. And so I just love to see a display of the extraness of God. So, Schmidt's Riches. We still want to support small up and coming channels. We want that to happen within the confines of relationship. I am a part of a Facebook group called Small YouTube Homesteaders. Two Family Homestead is one of the admins of that group. They do a wonderful job promoting small channels. And I'm actually still a member of that group from when I was a channel less than 1,500 subscribers. You have to have less than 1,500 to be, to join the group, I guess. But you can stay once you get past that. And I watch a lot of the conversation that goes on in there. I get on there and, engage some, but I see a lot of I have all the notifications turned on for that group. What happened when we started doing that every week is we started to be inundated with people who were saying, hey, promote me, promote me, promote me. Like to the point that it was probably like 10 or 15 channels a week. And it got really overwhelming, and that doesn't feel like relationship. And to be completely honest, it feels really crappy from this end. Whenever people come, and it's not necessary. I don't think anybody ever meant it maliciously, but it's really easy to feel like people have no interest in you. They just want what you can do for them. Being entirely transparent. That's what that feels like. And I don't know that was ever, obviously, I don't think people think that much about it. They're saying, hey, there's nothing hurts to ask. And so they just ask. But when they're like the 15th person that's asked you recently, it's kind of just like, it just feels bad. So we just kind of were like, well, let's just get in relationship and let's really be prayerful, and let's promote people whenever we really feel led to and when there's relationship. So, I don't know. So and the other thing is too, is, whenever you have a YouTube channel of any size, you get tons of emails anyway. Like, we probably turn down how many product reviews every week?
I can't even count them.
Easily. Just
probably, honestly, 20 a day.
Yeah, just like,
if you're counting all the ones that
they're
from
not
China and come from different places, and then you get actually legitimate companies, and it's like, it seems like a decent product, but it doesn't really make any sense for us to get behind it. And then honestly, there's been a few times that we've actually said, okay, this is actually something we could get behind. Let's try it out and see what happens. And it's not very much.
Yeah. Kaylee, I loved your video that you put up. There's something that you need to know. That's so good. So good.
Kaylee, the bees are doing good.
Yeah. That's awesome. The Adventures of Spanky and Squirrel. Thank you for supporting them.
Vivian, can you speak on how to start with goats? Which goat's milk do you think is best? The kind that you will use.
Yeah, I prefer our La Mancha's milk over the others. Now, I've never had Nigerian Jor, so I can't speak to that. I've only had Saanen, Alpine, Nubian, and La Mancha. And my favorite was the La Mancha. The Alpine and the Saanen were my least favorite, and then the Nubian's right in the middle. And that has to do with the amount of butter fat. I definitely love the La Manchas. We're actually wanting to move our herd towards that. I would say just start. You can't just get one goat. I would start with just 2 or 3, and make sure that you understand what they need as far as parasite resistance or parasite prevention, and where the area you're in. Really, the best thing to do is find some local goat keepers, because a lot of that is going to vary by your area. Thank you too, family, for putting Art and Bree's PayPal up, and if y'all want to share the GoFundMe too, that's awesome. Thank you. Our mods are so awesome. Yeah, man, of Little and Light, I would really like to work something out with you on that.
I didn't see it.
Oh man, KG Crimson, that's awesome. Justin Rhodes just posted a video for Art and Bree as well 2 minutes ago. I'm planning on putting a video up. It's probably a little short one. I guess I could put that up, just a standalone video. Eileen, is there a Jersey cow in the near future? Not at this property. We really just don't want to add something else here. We have a lot grazing already, and we're trying to get some different fencing options up to be able to rotate a little bit more. The pasture area we have is not established because we tore down all the trees. So no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait to get a cow, but we would like to have one eventually. Can you give us an idea how you enrich your raised beds? Sue. We are using our the alpaca manure, as well as a product called Super Soil that we purchased at a local place that it's basically compost. And we usually add a few inches each season of compost. And then we're putting in some alpaca manure as well. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. We were with Doug and Stacy just a few weeks ago, and it was really awesome. Big Bear of Little and Light is close to you. Okay, cool. I need to get of Little and Light. I know you've sent me an email. I'll send it back. I need to get your phone number. Our property right now, our house is on 4 acres. This is what we own. Jeremiah's sister owns the house next door, and we essentially just rent that from her. So that's another 3 acres. So we have 7 total. And then we are leasing 90 next door. But we're only allowed to run our horses on that 90. So the lease is just for our horses. Oh, No-Do Acres. That would be a good score if you can get some. I mean, they're probably covered up in it. And honestly, if you're ever trying to get a farmer to share manure with you from their animals, just offer to come and shovel it. And usually they're happy to let you do that.
There are some places that have a tractor that they can dump it for you.
Yeah.
they can't. Horse farms, especially, can't use it fast enough.
Goss Mania, I don't know much at all about what to do with banana plants, but my mom may still be on here, and she might be able to answer that because she separates hers out. The question is, when do you recommend moving baby banana plants under another banana plant to a different location? My father-in-law has several growing under. So I don't know. My mom might know
She's
that
still
question.
on.
Yeah, she's still on. Maybe she'll answer. It's Mary Ellen Wilson. What is a good camera that you would recommend for someone who wants to vlog as well as capture art and garden pictures? Not the most expensive, but something worth the money I can learn from. The Canon M50. I just got this like a handful of months ago. I replaced my G7X when it died with the Canon M50. And it is really, really good. It takes really good photos. I mean, it's really good. It's a great camera. And it's in the I think $600 range, which is significantly cheaper than like a professional DSLR setup. So I would say that's a really good one to do. Can Maya do more bee videos?
I wish I could. I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want really good bee videos, the Homestead, Kaylee, she's on here, and she has lots and lots of bee knowledge.
If you guys want me to do a bee video, I can do one of me watching Kaylee and then doing what she does.
Because that's pretty much.
All right, guys, we're going to watch Kaylee do this. So she's doing a circular motion. Okay.
We're definitely still learning. Okay, do you know of any homesteaders in the Ohio area where you're starting out and would love to others to talk to feeling left out? Ohio, the Hesitant Homesteaders, they are in Ohio. Two Family Homestead, they're in Ohio. Two Family, who else is in Ohio? So those are two friends of ours that are up there, and I bet Two Family can tell you who else is in that area. But the Hesitant Homesteaders are sisters that are, Farming Our Backyard. They're in Ohio. So here we go. Lots of people will tell you.
There you go. So they're coming out
Haywire Homestead. Okay, that's right. Haywire's in Ohio. She was on, actually, we were with her, Doug and Stacy's. She was on that video. Homesteaders in Mississippi. Who's in Mississippi? The Aldermans are in Mississippi. Nunda's in Mississippi, but she doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Where's Mimsy's at?
I don't know. Deep South Homestead is in Mississippi.
I thought Mimsy's garden was down in the south.
Mimsy's might be in there. Goss Mania is in Mississippi. Southern Bless, that's right. Southern Bless is in Mississippi. Max Happy Homestead. Yep. Oregon. Let's see. Who's in Oregon? This is like a test. I'm going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
Who's in Oregon? Willow Creek is in Oregon, is she not? Is
Well,
she in Oregon?
Idaho.
She's in Idaho.
I don't know anyone in Oregon.
Well, I have friends in Oregon, but I don't know if they are doing YouTube videos. Shay is in Washington. Butcher Baker Queso Maker. Cool name.
I don't know anyone in Kansas.
Wow, their GoFundMe's now at $32,525. I'm hoping to check it and just see massive. The Tinker's Wife. Where is she? Is she in Mississippi? Y'all, the Tinker's Wife. She lost her husband last week. Very, very sad. She is such a precious lady, and she's got a channel, and I think she's planning on continuing to do it. Oh, she's in Oregon. Okay. So definitely she could use some love and support right now. And I would love to see her. She's got a small channel. And I don't know, she sent me just a really sweet message, just sharing about realizing her husband's love for her. He passed away really unexpectedly just a few days ago. So it was really hard. Cindy Lopez said, be careful when you get manure from someone. We got some that ruined our tomatoes. That is absolutely true.
For sure.
Make sure you know what you're getting.
You don't know what they're feeding them.
Yeah, for sure. Where did we meet? Jeremiah and I?
In your dreams.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened. You about to dump me out of my chair.
Come here, little darling. Still got one good on.
Jeremiah's brother, Joshua, was actually my youth pastor. He moved briefly. He's only a few years older than me. It was my senior year, and he moved and we became, after I was a grown up, we became good friends. And actually Jeremiah's whole family was like some of my closest friends. His mom was one of my very closest friends. And he was the last one. He has 8 siblings, and he was the last one of the Sowards family for me to meet. Our paths almost crossed for years before we met. I'm talking like I would show up to a party. He lived out of state, but I would show up to like a party and they'd be like, oh, you just missed Jeremiah. And I'm like, gosh, when am I going to meet this guy? For years. And then finally, he moved to Arkansas to stay with his brother. And, you know, he and I actually went through our divorces at the same time. And I don't know. I mean, like we just became honestly just like best friends. And then I don't know, we had a very weird thing where we just knew as soon as we started to become really good friends, it was like, oh yeah, we're going to get married. Like we just absolutely knew that that's what we were going to do. And we would sit around talking about how we wanted to have a farm one day. We already had kids, you know, I brought in 2 and he brought in 1. So we wanted to have more kids. And
you were so dang cute. I would have given you anything.
I was like, I want to have a farm. And he's like, yeah, me too.
I was like, I hope this is just a phase. It wasn't a phase, guys. It wasn't a phase. She was serious.
Oh, Angela thought I was a jerk. Then we dated for 2 months and married 6 months later. That is funny.
Yeah, Angela, way to judge a book by its cover.
Did Jess give you a new lease on life after the Marines?
Yeah. It wasn't just the Marines because, like I said, I was previously married. So I went from Marines to my medical situation getting worse. I had a pinched sciatic nerve for about 3 years after the Marine Corps and went through a ton of extreme medication and just constant pain. I was really grumpy and a bad person to be around. A lot of depression. I mean, it was bad. When I finally got a back surgery, I finally went to the Mayo Clinic up in Rochester, Minnesota, which is like state of the art, like one of the best in the world hospitals, and met an Army doctor. And he actually ended up doing a surgery to fix my back and found a perforated disc laying on my sciatic nerve. And that fixed it. And I went cold turkey off the medication in February. The surgery was like December. And that's when I moved to Arkansas because my ex-wife had deployed. And soon after I got there is whenever, you know, we started the whole separation thing because, I mean, it was just a lot of bad. I don't want to go into all that. But coming off the medication, I really started to kind of like figure out who I was again because it was just a blur of depression and it was bad. So around the time that I was like going back to church, I was getting over the loss of my son, which I blamed God for 5 years and had a lot of anger. So got all that was getting healed up. It was around the time that I met Jessica. And so that's kind of like I was kind of coming back to being a human being.
And we were not the people that we are now when we got married. We were a hot mess of baggage.
You were a hot mess, I'll tell you what.
So were you.
I feel like you were hot. You're still a hot mess as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, man.
For all of you people who think we're too PDA intensive, like
we call that PDM around
public display
Bank
marriage.
Screen Zebra. But yeah, we definitely worked through some stuff. Like when I look back on then now, I'm like, man, God's grace and mercy is just absolutely astounding. It's so funny that then we used to sit around and talk about this dream life, and now we actually have it. But when we were in youth ministry, when we were going through some training and stuff, and I'll never forget this. This guy sat us down and he said, what you're going to want for your students is this. They are here and God's plan is here. And so God is here. And so you're going to want it to go like this. He said, what it's actually going to look like is this. And then it was like just scribbles everywhere. And then it ends there. And that's pretty much been our story. There's been a lot of scribbling. Aaron Purple just said, I look back and think I had hair.
I look back and think, what did you fall in love with?
Oh, sweet Maya, you're so fun.
Maybe.
Do you
it
know
must have been really funny and had a lot of money or something.
You didn't have a lot of money, but you were funny.
Because I still had like a military haircut, no facial hair. I was overweight from all the depression, medication. Like, I'll share this. This is a vulnerable thing. Like, I was 170 pounds in the Marine Corps. Like, 6'1", 170 pounds. That's super skinny. Like, I had no body fat. I could eat, never gain weight. The medication from the surgeries and then the medication from the back pain and all that completely threw my digestive tract and metabolism into complete whack. Like, I got large so fast that I actually have permanent stretch marks on my stomach because I went from super skinny to large quickly, like, which is not normal for a guy. Girls, obviously, because of pregnancy, but like, I actually have stretch marks.
Plenty of people have stretch marks.
I don't like that. I mean, I got the full zebra going. So now I'm getting back into shape, but hopefully it'll go away, but probably not.
Harvesting the Bounty said, do you think that the both of you would do a video on getting through separation, divorce? I'm going through a very ugly one, losing basically everything. Only prayer gets me to the next day. I'm so sorry that you are going through that right now. It's one of those things that's so hard for me to talk about in an advice sense, because, you know, you go through a divorce, and especially if you are in the church, and I tread so carefully on this, you get kind of stamped as disqualified. And it's so funny now because anytime that I am in a place of like, when I share things like devotionals, people are like, how did you get so bold talking about Jesus? I'm like, I'm a divorced, tattooed woman preacher from the South. I mean, I was disqualified before I ever started talking. So like, truly at this point, I'm trusting God to tell me if he wants me to shut up, and he hasn't yet. And so like, people, I think it's almost a blessing that I got disqualified so young, because like, you know, I'm over that. But I kind of, I guess, have to deal with some fear when it comes to talking about divorce, because that is such a hard thing. And it was a season of walking through a tremendous amount of persecution and accusation, all that stuff. But the thing that I would tell you more than anything is that a season of divorce, I do think divorce breaks God's heart, and it does have a lot of negative consequences. However, it doesn't define your life. Your divorce does not define your life. And I think that in the season of divorce, I look back on that season, and it's one of the sweetest seasons as far as my walk with Jesus, because I learned who Jesus was as a bridegroom when I was going through the middle of divorce. I learned the love of Christ in a way that I never could before. And it took that season of alone, and it took that season of feeling like half a person, to really marry me to that understanding. And so I'm thankful for it. So I'll be praying for you, and I'm sorry you're going through that. It really is genuinely something that is, you know, it's a struggle that's different than any other struggle. So
I'm talking about divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's rough. But in that, like, if you want me to say that it's all bad, I can't, because there were consequences. There are things we're still dealing with for choices, but
God's grace is so
still
sufficient.
Turned it for good.
Yeah, and I mean,
and not just for me, like, even for like my ex-wife, you know, she's happily married to a great guy that honestly, like, I have a lot of respect for with the job he's done with Malia. Honestly, one day when I was dropping her off when she was like 6 years old, I mean, I talked with him and I shook his hand and I said, I just need you to know something. You know, I may be her dad, you know, I helped create her, but at this point, you're her father. Like, you're going to have 80% more time than me. to be there, to talk to her, to do what I was supposed to do. I was like, and so, I just bless you to do a good job. Like, don't feel like I have anything against, I want you to do a good job and I trust that you will. And he has. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's definitely, just definitely something that you just continue to you walk through and you get through it, but just don't let it define you. That would be my main thing. That doesn't have to become who you are. And like, then you read all the statistics that tell you that your second marriage will absolutely fail if your first marriage fails. And like, or that the percentage is so much higher. And I mean, we went into our marriage being like, that's not even going to be an option. And it never has been. Like, I mean, Jeremiah and I got married saying like, we're going to stay married. And just because we've walked through this before, we don't want this to be something that's there. And, we've had some downs in our marriage for sure. But I don't know, Lauren said there's always redemption with Christ. That's so true. And I think part of the redemption that's happened in my heart is that I don't live in fear of divorce. I don't live in fear that he's going to leave me, and I don't live in fear that I'm going to leave him, because that's not who I am, because that did not define me. Like, that season of my life did not define me. So thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate that.
What is something y'all struggle with the most in a relationship? Do you want to answer that, or do we want to just skip over that?
Why don't you go for that one, my darling? Communication, hands down. It's communication.
It's a pretty broad umbrella.
Yeah.
I
mean, I would say that's
Green
it.
Zebra Project. Skip?
Huh? Skip?
It's like fast money on a Family Feud. Pass.
I think there are some things about marriage that you have to understand. And these sound cliche, but these are so true. Marriage is not 50-50, it's 100-100. However, there are going to be seasons where somebody can't give 100%. Like, there were seasons that Jeremiah has absolutely carried me. There are seasons that I have carried him. Like, I think I don't know. I mean, we've learned a lot about communication, and we still suck at it sometimes. I mean, even now, we are both hot-headed, stubborn.
Kathy Scroggins. How does she know about the thermostat? Who is Kathy?
The thermostat. I think that's a common thing. No, we talked about it last week. We talked about what temperature the thermostat was on.
How much did you share?
Like, the thing that for us is really like letting assumption go. I think that's probably like a killer of a lot of joy. Making a choice to be engaged when it would be easier to just like ignore the situation and like stuff it. Why is this finger so pointed at me? No, I think the main thing for us though is being like taking the moment to choose to remember that we actually really do love each other. And like my friend Lauren told me this once, and I have to keep this in the forefront of my mind, is like whenever that your spouse is telling you this is what I'm feeling or this is what I'm needing, it's really easy to jump on the, well, you're wrong. That's not what I meant to say. That's not in like this right versus wrong argument. But if you really stop and say, the person I love more than anybody else in the world right now is telling me right now that they feel afraid because of something that I'm doing, then you can go, oh, I don't want him to feel afraid. And just kind of like taking a step back and saying, what is your heart really saying? Communication is hard though. That's probably our biggest issue.
Someone said, let no man separate what God brings together. And I've always had a thought after my divorce and moving forward and all that. I believe that scripture absolutely is true, because I believe all scripture is Holy Spirit inspired and God breathed. I think what that actually for me means, and you guys can interpret it and apply it to your life however you see fit. That's kind of the thing about the word being alive. But how I've always viewed that is if you didn't ask God whether or not you should marry this person, did he bring you together? Let me share, like, we can get into our own heads and just like quickly make a decision without asking like God's perspective on it. And then, just because, you get married doesn't necessarily mean that God brought that together. And so
I do think, however, you have to keep in mind though, that like, I think that once you're married, I'm kind of the mind too, though, that once you're married, I don't want anybody to take that and use it as, oh, I didn't ask God, and so now I can like check out.
No,
this.
like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, if you didn't, then you might have to work harder.
Yeah, and he blesses our choices.
For sure.
He does. I mean, he blesses our choices to the fullest capacity that that he can. But I was talking to my 14-year-old about this the other day. I was like, it is so important to seek the Lord when you are, whenever you are deciding who you're going to marry. Like, really seek the Lord on and what he says, who he has for you. Because like, I look at our marriage and the way that it's panned out, and I know that God told us, because we felt like God told us to get married whenever, like I felt like God said, this is who I have for you. And the grace that's been on our marriage, even whenever it's been hard, and even through the struggles, there have been times that it's not easy, but I've never questioned. I'm like, this is who I'm supposed to be married to. Like, God gave this to me. And so it is definitely. And somebody asked, they said, do you find it harder? Serenity Hill. Thank you. I am not 25.
Looking at 25, I was like, wait, who's 25 with a 14-year-old kid?
I appreciate that. People were giving me nice compliments about looking young.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to. I
did have my son whenever I was 19, but yeah, totally not 25. Okay, my mom did reply about the bananas. She said, so one of the things somebody asked is, they said, do you find it more difficult being married in the spotlight and in like the public eye? I actually think that YouTube has been very good for our marriage. Would you say that?
Yes, my love.
No, really?
Oh,
like, really? Like, we need to have a talk about this. I think it has. Because I think that you could.
What's the right answer?
I think that you could, and we've shared this before, like, for our family, like, I never wanted it to be fake. And so for me, the videoing on a regular basis means that, like, I'm never okay with just like putting a Band-Aid over it so we can shoot a video, or pretending to be okay so that we can shoot a video. And so it's almost like a catalyst for us to work things out and resolve things and be like, okay, let's get to the point that we remember the fact that we actually really like each other. And so it's been, he's being tacky. Do not support this behavior. YouTube equals PDM, public display of marriage. Yep. Jeremiah came up with that term whenever we were youth ministers, because he would always be like kissing on me and stuff, not like vulgarly, but like we would kiss, and they'd be like, no PDA. No PDA. And he'd be like, I'm sorry, you're 14 and I'm married. This is not PDA. This is PDM. Grow up and get married, and you can kiss on your wife too.
Yeah, that's right. Beyonce hasn't produced a lot for the world, but that song, Put a Ring on It, that rings true.
I need to go.
Oh, go ahead. Does she like quilts? That's probably her favorite type of blanket. One day she'd probably like to spend a bunch of money getting really nice handmade quilts. That's not today. Okay, you're a great communicator. Yeah, sometimes I have a tendency to, I've realized that I can receive criticism and correction and have intense conversations and still stay connected with people whenever it's not my wife. But whenever it becomes me and Jessica and she wants to talk about, criticism, or we have the same kind of conflict, like, I have a tendency to just like be completely different. And so that's hard. I'm dealing with a lot of wanting to take my own communication to a higher level and to a deeper level, because it's just harder whenever it's the person that you let in the most that has the most access to you, so they can hurt you the most. Like, and so for some reason it incites a different persona, I guess, or response, and I don't want it to be that way. So. What's your favorite colors? Mine is blue. Jessica's is green. A Little Mountain Life. We will be in Thursday. I don't think we're going to the workshops, but we will be flying in Thursday. I wasn't necessarily camera shy. I just wasn't real comfortable with the camera. So this is actually, if you guys have ever met us in person, you'll know this to be true. Jessica loves connecting to the camera because there's nobody actually around, and so there's a buffer. I have a hard time connecting to the camera because there's actually nobody around. Like, when you see us in person, Jessica's really quiet and she's reserved and she's very different, and I'm like, talk with everyone, can stay out for as long as we need to. And it's very much my element being in person. And so it's not so much that I was like camera shy. It's that I had a hard time connecting to a piece of equipment. Whereas Jessica excelled at that because the camera added a buffer to let her be comfortable. So. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's just me, but sometimes I don't want to listen to myself talk. Like, I don't like listening to myself. So,
I hate my own voice.
Yeah, I don't like listening to my own voice. So, yeah, and then you listen to some of the things you say, and you're like, man, I really need to fix that.
Yeah.
Send a message about coming on my podcast about Homestead. Would you guys be interested? Yeah, possibly. We haven't really checked a lot of emails in the last 5 days. Been busy, but we'll follow up with that. We'll check it. Sorry, it's moving fast.
Yeah, I don't. Wendy, do you know any homesteaders in Alabama? Cosmopolitan Cornbread, she's on here. She's in Alabama. And who else? Cog Hill Farm, he's in Alabama. No, I don't grow my own coffee beans. Straight up let the Peruvians do that.
Do you both have areas you'd like your next homestead to be?
Tinker's wife is on here. Hey. We love you so much. I was just telling everybody, guys, go give her a follow and just love her socks off. Just tell her how awesome she is and give her support. And just, I would love to see her, just this community embrace her. It's the Tinker's wife. She just commented. Actually, somebody messaged me and said they were going to share their coffee beans that they grew with us. Or somebody said something. Shout out to Art and Bree. Art and Bree here. We were talking earlier.
I didn't see them. If they are here, they can comment again.
No. I don't know any homesteaders that are Freemasons. No. Life with the Table Full. What is up? You had enough coffee
There's
today?
There's never enough coffee.
I didn't drink a ton of coffee today.
I have, and I'll drink more. I'm cutting out everything else that tastes delicious. I'm going to keep the coffee.
Oh, bark and holler. I wear warm hats all summer because I'm always cold.
So we actually will be having a a hat's coming out soon.
Oh, Nancy, yes. We talked extensively about Art and Bree earlier. And we've been sharing their GoFundMe and stuff. What? Yeah.
So Teespring, because I guess, we make shirts or something, they messaged us and asked if they wanted, if they could help us or something. And I was like, honestly, as you sell stuff in Teespring, they unlock other things. It's kind of like leveling up. I don't know. It's kind of interesting way of marketing. But we unlocked these like hats, like trucker hats or whatever kind of hat. But you had to do like this particular kind of graphic submission and bun. I was just
jump off.
It was too confusing. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then they messaged us and asked if they could help. And I said, yeah, can y'all help us get a hat design going for Roots and Refuge? And so they're putting together a hat design that we should be able to get out on Teespring as soon as they
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be stitched. It'll be like a stitched logo hat type thing. So for all you people who wear hats.
My favorite brand of coffee. I'll show y'all what kind of coffee we use. And it's not like I'll tell you what my favorite is. I don't have any of it right now.
Yeah, because it's extremely expensive, probably. Andrew Littlefield Folgers. No, that's Ben Kern's coffee.
Okay, so this is what I get now. I love craft coffees. I love like locally roasted. I want to roast coffee. I want to own a coffee house. This is like one of my little dream board things. I would love to own a coffee house. We've actually already owned the domain. I'm not telling y'all what it is yet, but we actually I've got the marketing. I've got everything.
Oh, you're talking about our coffee
out.
place?
Yeah, don't tell it.
I'm not going to say it.
So
we did go and purchase the domain names for the roasting company and for the coffee house whenever God lets that happen.
Yeah. I actually already cooked dinner, Marie. I got it done before. It was squash and broccoli and tilapia. So, but I was just standing in there eating because I didn't eat before, but I was just eating squash and broccoli in the kitchen.
This heifer needs a hat.
Oh, so this is the coffee that I use because this is what Sam's Club gets, and it's pretty good. It's not like blow your mind or anything because it's obvious. Like when you've had locally roasted craft coffee that was roasted yesterday, seriously, there's nothing that really compares. But this is a pretty close second, and this was made a month and a half ago, so that's fairly fresh, and it's ethically sourced, which matters to me. So. I don't really even know what. Oh, Luna Roasters, fair trade certified organic coffee beans, whole beans. I got the Sam's Club. So that's what coffee we use.
The retired T-shirt designs.
Maybe for the holidays. Yeah, that would be a good thing for us to. That's a pretty good idea. I think we'll probably we're probably not going to do any new T-shirt designs until the holidays, and we'll probably bring the old ones back and bring some new ones out. Have a sale, like a Black Friday sale.
Well, also around that time, Teespring will actually do sales, and then you guys get it for cheaper, even cheaper than what we can offer.
That Stivers, the cinnamon coffee that you had, I have no idea. A viewer actually gave that to us.
Yeah, I know, and we've never been able to find it again, and I've never had it since then either.
Yeah, that was really good. I don't know. I've never found one that was as good. I've tried a few other ones, but they just weren't as good as that. So, how many coffees do you have a day? 2?
16.
2.
Carry the one.
What?
Sometimes you like to throw out random math.
I think Jeremiah had 3 cups of coffee today.
How do you know that? You spying on me?
Because I make it for you, but then you made one for yourself.
I needed to pick me up.
Jay's, because I'm trying to drink water.
How to only have 2 coffees? Because it's a double shot of espresso. It's strong.
I was drinking actually pour over, but I had a big
I'm drinking espresso. Jessica has ruined me for anything else. I don't drink pour over anymore. It's for the peasants, I guess. I'm drinking straight. I haven't
been drinking a ton of coffee. I've been drinking a lot of water.
Well, I drink
Well,
a ton of
I
water.
I don't put any sweetener in my coffee, and I have not been using any dairy, and so I've been using nut pods, which is actually pretty good, but it's just not the same, and so I don't drink it quite as much. It's more like a need-based thing now.
Well, we got an espresso machine off of Amazon, and it's like a small one for
It's
your
like a
house.
home
You don't have to
model.
have like a water hookup.
It's
You
a
add
Breville.
water to the back, and it's small and compact, and it works really good for, like I said, for a home. And so I'm very pleased. Like now we go to like not even just Starbucks. Starbucks is obviously lower level, but you go to like even a coffee house like in Denver, and it was like, yeah, stuff we make at home is still better.
Bougie Maya. I just like. No, it's not as fancy as Shay's. However, when I went to Shay's house and Shay actually, her and some friends went in and bought out a coffee like stand that was going out of business. So she has like an actual like commercial espresso machine. It's intense.
Yeah, I can't drink decaf because I may drink fancy coffee, but I don't drink it because I just love the flavor. I'm doing it strictly for the caffeine.
Yeah.
You gonna make all that alpaca stuff? Mitts, hats, and socks with all your time.
With all my spare time.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Oh, what time is it?
No, that's what the children are for. We're gonna teach them to spin it and make their stuff.
Do you use ground or pods for espresso?
We use whole bean and then it grinds it.
Yeah, I just grind whole beans into the little filter thing, tamp it down, make espresso.
Yeah, I need that leaded fuel, not that unleaded fuel.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't drink decaf because I'm a man.
Who said that?
Someone up there.
I still have some Python snake beans. I haven't done very well in cooking these. Like I find out all these.
There's
recipes.
4 of them on the vine that turned orange.
Yeah,
If you squish them, it's like something's growing like an alien inside.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said just simply like saute it and fry it. And I may just try to do something super simple. But I was like, okay, I'm going to cook these. And I go look up all these recipes. And it was all like curries and different things.
It's 3 a.m. here in Denmark.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome. I don't think I'd stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning for a live video.
What is it about homesteaders and their coffee? We're tired.
I don't know if... No offense. I don't know if you're a homesteader and you're not drinking coffee to stay awake.
Honestly, Nancy, I think
pretending.
what it actually is I think the reason why you see so many homesteaders that are into really good coffee is it's like a real food thing. Like I think that it can go hand in hand with like getting really into real food. I see a lot of homesteaders.
You want to hear the revelation that
brewing.
Jessica just had about coffee? Coffee beans are seeds.
Yeah, no, isn't that cool?
Yep. I said it.
So, yeah, we do get up really early, and we just appreciate quality coffee. That's what Cosmopolitan's important.
We're still working on Ben on getting healthy. He's not really because like he's so young and fit. He doesn't really need it.
Are you talking about Ben Turner?
Yeah, Ben Turner.
Yeah.
And, we were just talking. He's like, man, there's like all these things happening with these energy drinks, and guys are like having like these aneurysms and stuff. And it's like it's crazy. They're like getting real sick by like the age 30 something. I was like, you mean like the energy drink you were drinking today? He's like, yeah, just like that. I'm just not that concerned right now because I'm only 24. I'm like, okay, well, we'll work on that.
I like to feel my heartbeat while I'm working.
Today, Asher came to me and said, I can't read all of it, Ozark Mountain Goats. Today, Asher came
It's
to me
how I
and
got
said,
through college. It's like skimming the top. Just get over the cliff notes.
He said, I need to start calling Ben Turn Benployee now so he doesn't feel fearful that he's getting a demotion.
Ben, our kid?
Asher.
Oh, Asher.
Does he need to start calling him Benployee? Yeah, it's fully. Well, no. Yeah, it is. It's dark outside now.
Yeah, it's getting darker. Pretty soon we'll have the time thing change, and it'll be getting dark at like 5 o'clock, and it's fine. It's actually good because we'll get less done on the farm outside, but we'll get more done in the house. So we're about to switch gears and start working on the house again.
Mm-hmm. I was saying
It's
something, I
unavoidable,
forgot.
guys. I'm not speaking anything that you don't already know is coming. Like, our time to get things done outside is getting smaller and smaller. I don't know how people do it while working another job. Like, how do you get off at a decent time and get back before it's pitch black to do anything on the farm? So, like, kudos to you guys. Drink more coffee. I'll send you guys some of those little headlamps. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's definitely dark.
yeah, it isn't until November 3rd, and we'll be there like that fast. November 3rd. It's like they said November 3rd. I mean, it's weird becoming older and seeing, like, being in my parents' shoes and realizing, like, all the stuff they used to say and how real it is. Like, time flies when you're older. And like, man, it used to be like, man, did we just have my birthday? And I've got so long to get back around to my birthday. Now it's like, just had my birthday and it's my birthday again. What the crap? This is not how that was supposed to happen.
So the Tinker's wife is now at 291. Can somebody share the link to her channel? I know she's been commenting, but can we get the link thrown up? Wow, Art and Bree, I've already jumped another 1,000 and $1,500 since this. That's really cool. 60,000. The No Acre Farm. Can you write a homestead book?
Yes. It's not ready yet.
Eventually, I will.
And a cookbook, and a devotional book, and memoirs, and an autobiography, and how she dealt with me for the last 10 years.
I'm not going to write those books, but yeah.
You are going to write all those books.
The cookbook, yes. The devotional book, yes. A gardening book, homesteading book.
How to create your own Sweet Maya. How to, step by step.
Yeah, that's
first.
What
Super hot. Check.
I will do a video of my favorite books. That's actually on my list of videos to do. Thank you, Stivers and Green Zebra, for getting that link up. Big Bear. There's Art and Bree's GoFundMe. Somebody asked who Art and Bree are. They're another fellow YouTube homesteading channel. Friends of ours that are dealing with it would have been a crisis, but I mean, they're just getting hugely blessed. It's amazing, and we're so excited to see it, and we want to see it just go above and beyond the minimum, just far beyond. So it's no longer even meeting needs, but meeting wants. I think it's going to be just an incredible thing that this looked like a tragedy and a crisis and all of this, but at the end, it's going to be, their place is going to be better than it was in the beginning. I just think that's so cool. Yeah, Just Goodness 333 Little Homestead. I like that number 333. I see that all the time. Been using coconut milk as creamer. I like coconut milk a lot. I don't like almond milk nearly as much, especially if you're trying to steam it, because then it tastes like burnt nuts. Oh, that's awesome, Brandy. Good job making use of what space you have.
Did you tell him the joke about God and milk?
Yeah, somebody posted that on Friends, Roots and Refuge. It said, "What are they doing down there?" I don't know. God talking to somebody. I don't know who was supposed to be
like
an
Michael,
angel or something. It said, "What are they doing down there?" And he said, "They're milking almonds." And he said, "Why are they doing that? I gave them like 13 things to get milk from." And he said, "They don't like that milk." And then it's all these crazy letters, and it says, "They don't like that milk." And I'm like, God was mocking. I thought it was funny. But actually,
well, then you got this oat milk. You got this oat milk, and I was like, oat milk, and I was like, what? I can see God right now.
Green Zebra said oat milk. It really does steam better than anything else.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying God is literally looking at us, being like, "Oh, now they're milking oats."
Like, they don't like that milk. That's what we keep saying. Like, I'll make him a latte with oat milk and be like, "They don't like that milk." Giving it to him.
Actually, a really funny YouTube video about a guy who runs a almond milk farm, and it's got like almonds set up with like milking machines, and it's like, it's like, yeah, we gotta milk them fast. And it like has some free range grazing. Like, he's got all these almonds out in the grass.
So far, I prefer the oat milk to steam better. It tastes best steamed.
I like toasted nuts, so the nut milk didn't taste bad. It just tasted like
toasted nuts. It really does. It tastes very strongly of toasted nuts, the steamed almond milk. But I really like there's this product, and I'm like, I have to say this because I actually can, like, you can get in trouble if you are promoting something that you got paid to promote and you're not saying it. But I'm not at all affiliated with them. I just bought the stuff at the store, but not Nut Pods is what it's called. And it's not like the greatest. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know. I'm excited for my goats to be back in milk because I think that I'll be able to drink their milk and it won't upset my stomach. I have not made any leather journals to sell. I probably am not going to anytime soon, to be completely honest. We had talked about
We
doing
really
that,
wanted
but
to, but
it's just I don't have a whole lot of time.
and also the Airbnb is completely on hold, and I don't know if we're going to get to it or not.
In this our thing is like we're really just, there are some things up in the air. We will inform you guys of things as soon as we can, but like we're kind of in a little bit of limbo. We appreciate your prayers for just God to do whatever it is that he's going to do, but we're just really asking for direction about what we're supposed to be doing. And where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. And right now we're just kind of waiting to see what it is we're supposed to be doing, but we're not going to try to push to do the Airbnb just yet, because we just don't know how long we're going to be here. So
we don't know what our main focuses this year are yet, because the thing that's up in the air will determine what that is. So I love talking like mysteriously to you guys and being like, there's something huge and it will change everything. That's all I can tell you.
I don't enjoy
and I'm
that.
not even playing.
I feel anxiety right now.
I'm not even playing, like, seriously. No, it has nothing to do with an animal. It's like
Just
change
stop talking.
everything.
Just stop.
Like crazy.
Can't. No more talking.
Yes.
Our friends who actually know are like, yes.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have a full inbox after this.
How many subs did y'all have when we started going live? We actually waited a pretty decent amount of time.
I was really scared to go live.
I think we were like 20-something thousand before our first live.
I think it was more than that. It was like 40.
Was it 40?
Two Family Homestead had us live on their channel, and like that convinced me that I could do it. I was so scared to be live in front of everybody. But
now I'm scared to go on
I
Two
tell
Families.
people don't wait.
The arrow's a loose cannon. You never know what's going to happen.
We were on Two Families like a week ago.
Big Bear, what are you saying? For the right price, open your mouth. I know where you live. South Carolina Marine. You don't want to mess with me. Us Hollywood Marines are crazy.
Have you learned to fly that air thingy? Yeah, he's been flying.
Yeah, I flew it right into a tree. Didn't you catch that one? Should have watched till the end. Only the true super fans.
I don't have an approximate due date for my goats. I know it'll be by the middle of October, because that's when the buck came out. That's when he was no longer in there. Tinker's wife is up to 322. Y'all, let's bless her, please. She has a channel where she shares her life. She lost her husband last week, and I think just being able to support her and encourage her, I know that this community is a huge blessing to us. I would just love to see you guys just.
Sorry, harvesting the bounty. There's no chance you will figure anything out. No chance.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Like, this is not like
No,
you couldn't figure it out ever.
You're stressing me out. Ben Turn hanging out of a tree. Goals. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Getting
Jeremiah,
smacked in the head with
for
a
those
tree.
of you who missed,
Goals.
for those of you who missed that video, Jeremiah flew the drone into a tree, and Ben Turn climbed the tree to get it out. Finally getting ripe tomatoes in Southern Oregon. Yes. This community knows how to bless someone very well. You are not kidding, Xavier. This community is just amazing. Just completely amazing. Yes, Tammy. The tinkerer's wife, her husband, the tinkerer. His name is actually Ben as well. He passed away last week. She shared about it on Facebook, but yeah. 339. Thank y'all so much for going and blessing her. I know that'll mean, obviously she's got a road to walk, and she's got to go through this, and it's having YouTube subscribers is not going to take away that pain, but I do think that we can come around people and encourage them and be kind, and it can make a difference during those times. It can, such a hard thing to go through. Grief and loss.
Jess is not about to spill the beans. Bless your plans. Horse rescue,
No,
new place.
she said he is about to spill the beans.
No, I'm not. I'm a freaking steel trap. I just like teasing you guys. I would never slip up and say anything. Jessica just feels anxious because she might slip up and say something. Because honestly, like when we do get to announce it, like she's going to flip out. excited. Like, okay, when Jessica gets super excited, she has these things called excited hands. It's kind of like from Bring It On, like spirit fingers, but backwards. Instead of doing this, they go in. Like whenever we were going to get in the car,
I just can't even handle it.
Yeah, we were about to get into the car to go see Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows Part 2 midnight premiere, back when they actually premiered them at midnight, and Jessica couldn't walk to the car. Her hands were stuck like this, and she was like kicking. And she was like so excited. Her limbs weren't working. Like, this will be that times 100.
I get very excited, and I just like can't contain my body. Just like tenses up. So
if you've ever seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Spasm! Spasm!
That's about cheese.
Your body's still spasming. Spasm!
Oh, man. We need to close this off because our kids have school in the morning.
Nah.
I think Rose, she's at 3:46. Monique Alley said, can you talk, that'll be a good thing to end on. Can you talk about how you came to say, we bless you at the end of your videos? We get asked about that a lot. I actually shared a devotional it's called, what is that devotional called? Something about Oh My Soul or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds
it's the
about
devotional.
Right.
And I talked about it towards the end of that. Of course, that's kind of a long video.
Bless you.
Let me finish this thought, but first I do want to address this because Michelle, okay, if you sub somebody, like you're going to sub the Tinker's Wife, watch one of her videos. YouTube will unsub you from a person if you sub and you don't interact with that channel within the first 48 hours of being subbed to them. So if you go to sub somebody, watch their video too, to make sure that you actually stay subbed to them. Okay. I bless you. How we started to say that. I am 100% of the mind that all good things come from God. God is the one who gives out blessings. He is I have incredible reverence for the Lord. I give him credit for every good thing in my life, everything in my life, everything that has come against me, he has turned and used for my good. God is the King of my heart. Jesus is sitting on the throne in our life. The reason I say I bless you is because I believe that he has given me the authority to bless and curse. He's given us the power to bless and curse. And multiple times throughout scripture, it talks about blessings. Where you put your blessing on a house, where you place your blessing on people, and that we have been given the power to bless and curse. And so when I say I bless you, I think that the way that we have casually and cliche made certain things like God bless you. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to say. It's not. I hope God blesses you. I hope God blesses every single one of you. I believe that he will. I believe that it's his heart's desire. But I think that sometimes whenever we casually say things that we're used to hearing, they lose their power. I love words and I love language in just a massive way. It used to be one of my biggest pet peeves whenever I would go into like church and they'd be like, go make sure you sign up because there's an epic gift. There's an amazing gift for you at the sign up table. And it was like, not amazing. It's all right at the best. It's below average. And we can't talk cheapening those words like over this coffee cup. It is not amazing. Like this is like total pet peeve of mine. And because I don't like things to become cliche, they lose their power in our hearts. I mean, like, and
let's do this thing.
So like, I literally would go outside and like, look up at the sky and be like, this is absolutely amazing. But that word was so cheap. And I feel like we just live so dull and not in wonder because things have become cliche to us. And the term God bless you, I think that it is wonderful in so many ways. And I think some people say it and they really, really mean it. But I think so often we hear that and it just rolls off our mind. And the reason why I say I bless you is because I firmly believe that I have the power to do that. And that God has given me the ability to bless people. And he's given me a signet ring. He's given me that ability to be able to speak life into situations. do I have the power of God entirely? No, I'm not God, but I'm his chosen child that he loves and he adores and that he has given dominion over the earth. Like I am absolutely walking in authority. He's given us the keys.
I mean, Psalms and Proverbs even says it, power of life and death in the tongue. Like,
and so, yeah, I mean, like I say, I bless you because I can do that. And God agrees with me. He wants you blessed. So like, it's not like I'm not contradicting what he says. So do you think that when you're praying to God, calling him Papa is disrespectful? I do not think that calling God Papa is disrespectful. I mean, Jesus called him Abba, which is essentially the Hebrew version of that. I actually call him Abba whenever I pray to him. And so Jesus said that, so I feel like I can too. And because Jesus was the first fruits, he was the firstborn. And so we get to look at that and say, okay, I can do what he did. And so, yeah, I think that we should investigate our language. I think that it's very telling to where we are in our hearts, cold and disinterested and disengaged language to God. And we might say that that's reverent, but is it you know your heart. If you pray and every time you say, oh, dear Heavenly Father, he is that. He is our Father in heaven. And when Jesus showed people how to pray, he engaged with God by saying, our Father who art in heaven. Like he is that, but Jesus also called him Abba. And so I think that we really need to check our language whenever we talk, because it really reveals how we see God. And the thing is for so long we're taught to pray, or, and we're modeled this lofty prayer. And I remember listening to people pray growing up, going to church and being like, man, they were good prayers. Like, because they could pray, like they prayed with the big words. They prayed very, like Father God, like totally with this great reverence. And I thought, man, that is really powerful and that's really strong. And it is. But the thing is, then we think we always have to pray like that. And Jesus didn't always pray the same. He had a relationship with God. And like,
sure.
I want to make sure, I want to find the right thing to say, because this is really important to me. I think that if we say our prayers to God all the time, like, dear God, like he's a faraway God, and we're writing a letter to heaven where he might get it, dear God, oh Heavenly Father, and it's like we're throwing some message to a far off God, and we're going to really miss out on experiencing the face-to-face God and the close God. And just, this morning I was reading that Moses talked to God like a friend. And so I think that how we address God really does affect how we perceive him. So, I don't know. The connection is unstable.
Well, it's still working right now, so.
I think with love and peace. Yeah, Mari's vegetable garden, I feel so much closer to him when I call him Papa. And for me, it's that too. I mean, and I think that like when you call on the name of God, like I loved, if you've never done a study about the names of God, it's a very, very interesting study. If you just look it up, the names of God, and you can go through and see how many different names God is referred to in the Bible, like Jehovah Jireh, which, we pray to Jehovah Jireh when we have needs that need to be met. And it means the God who sees and the God who meets our needs. And there's all the Jehovah Rapha, God who heals. There are all these different names of God that when we're crying out, we need to know him as that. And I think that's the thing, to say, okay, Lord, I want to know you as Jireh. I want to know you as Rapha. I want to know you as El Shaddai. I want to know you as this. I want to understand this facet of you in my life. And I think there are the facets of God that have just been life-changing for me is God as Abba, who is Papa, who is a good and caring father who delights in me as his child. And that is something that actually wasn't as hard for me because I have a dad that I'm close with. And there are some things that were hard for me in that. But I think for people who never had a dad, or they had a dad that was very bad to them, knowing God as Abba is probably a lot more difficult. And then there's, understanding the facet of Jesus, which is our bridegroom, and understanding who he is whenever we read Song of Solomon and realize that that's the bridegroom to the bride, and reading that and understanding the affection of Jesus and the love of Jesus and the delight of Jesus in that way, it is a lot easier whenever you have, whenever you've experienced marriage in a healthy sense, and understanding the Holy Spirit as our friend. That's easier when you've had healthy friendships. And so I think how we address God is definitely, it matters. It really matters. And we can use that as a gauge to figure out what's going on with us. Whenever we're having issues with engaging with God, we can look at the places where we're struggling. And like, if you are really struggling with understanding God as your Abba, I think that's a way that you can pray, because whenever we ask for bread, he doesn't give us a stone. He's a good father. And so we can say, Lord, I want to understand you as Abba. And it's not, usually, I'm not going to say God never does this. It's not like a boop on the head. It's not like an immediate understanding of, oh, now I completely get it 5 seconds later. Sometimes you're going to ask God to help you understand something, and then 5 years later, you're going to look back on your life and go, oh, wow, you really did that. Jehovah Kadesh. Yes, the Lord who sanctifies. So, I think that's a really important thing. Language is so important. I'm sorry, I kind of got distracted. My kids were coming in here. So.
Ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We bless you. And God does too. Until next time.